Hey, what's up, y'all? This is William from the Permaculture Consultant, and today we're going to be taking a tour of a permaculture demonstration site here in East Texas, but it's a little bit different. This has been abandoned for almost 4 years. Some of you may know Permapastures Farm. In fact, I'm sure a lot of you probably came from Permapastures Farm, but this was actually the beginning property for, this is where we had not started homesteading, but this is where we had started YouTube. I'm all tangled up in vines right now. But yeah, this is where it all began, and you can actually see those videos if you go all the way back to the beginning of Permapastures Farm. Now, that was whenever, those videos were whenever we were here, obviously, and we were managing it. We've abandoned it for 4 years. We visited it every once in a while. We visited the property every once in a while when we would be in town. We recently did a video. It was the day I actually got married to Emily, but my dad and mom came over here and filmed a video, and I believe it's titled Proof That Permaculture Actually Works. And it does. I know it doesn't look like it is right now because there's, wall of vines and stuff like that, but it's not going to take too much effort to bring it back into full production. And I'm going to show you some of the systems that are still alive and active on the permaculture demonstration site here in East Texas. So we are actually at the front of the property right here. You can't really tell because everything's overgrown, obviously. Now over here is a swale. You can see the trees. Now it's too overgrown with this thorny stuff right here. So until I get some animals out here to clear that, or some sort of machinery, probably animals, because we do need food. I mean, not like we're starving or anything like that. I just would like to start producing my own food out here as quickly as possible. Yeah, so you're just gonna have to take my word on this swale over here. There is a swale. Now there are plenty more where you're gonna get an actual example, just like right over here. You can see there's the J of the swale. Let me move around. It's a little hard. I brought my scythe over here just in case I need to clear anywhere to help get to places. But okay, so here's one swale right here. And there, you can see the trees, is another swale. That dense green right here is the swale. That's where it's following. And then right here is another swale. Now there's a minimum of 16 feet between this swale and this swale because we were using a lamb tractor to tractor through the swale and graze the sheep. There's a whole system there, but the sheep are gone, obviously, but this is a system that's still in place. These trees have grown tremendous amount since last time we were here, even through a drought. And since it just rained all day yesterday, you can actually see that it is holding and retaining water. Let me get through this again. You can see me high stepping in the shadows, but yeah, you can see that it is holding and retaining water, and it's holding a lot more water than you might think it is because, well, if I had a stick, well, shoot, like there's a mulch layer that's quite a few inches thick there, so it's retaining a ton of water even after this surface layer stuff kind of evaporates away. So there are the two swales up here, and then there's a third one going that way, but we'll get to that in a minute. I want to show you this side, which is also overgrown. Obviously everywhere on here is overgrown, but it's on the same level as the other, same contour as these swales over on that side. You can't see the mound too well, but what you can see really well over here is how much water it's holding. It goes all the way over there, follows that way, and goes on over there. This side was the first time we started doing the 6 feet wide, 2 feet deep swales. The side I just previously showed you were the 3 feet wide, 1 foot deep swales. And over here, I mean, you can see again, trees. Actually, that's a junk tree. I need to cut that one out. But this, well, no, that didn't make it either. This side was also younger. The swales I just showed you were the oldest swales we had on here. These ones were younger, but there's an apple or a pear. No, that's a pear. That's growing there. There's a mimosa that survived, which is a nitrogen fixer. Another black locust survived. Another mimosa. there's I gotta clear that way, but there's quite a few other trees that have made it. You can see right through this mound right here. And you can hear some frogs. Maybe not now. Now that I called them out, you can't hear them. But that's protein that the swales are attracting. So that system still works. Let me move on down the landscape. Here's the next swale in the line. Now this one's pretty cool. This one, you can see all the water that it's holding. And it's not too dense where I can't get to this side of it. So hopefully you can see. Yeah, you can see the water all the way through there. Trees over there. That one's an apple. That's a pear. Nitrogen fixers in between. I believe there's an almond over there, if I remember correctly. I could be totally wrong on that. But look at that. Look at that right there. You guys from Permaculture Farm will know what that plant is. That right there is comfrey. That's one thing that has always survived on this property was comfrey. There's another fig tree right there. Believe me, there was a driveway here. You just can't see it anymore. And it went from, as we're going down, but it went all the way down here and then further on down to the pond, but we'll get to that in a minute. Now we're kind of at the structure site, and we'll just start on the west side of the property and work our way east just to stay consistent with the beginning. This one right over here. You can see this swale right here. This one was pretty easy to get to, and I think it's because none of that ragweed took over this area, just because it is quite a bit shadier in the summer whenever these trees over here have full leaves on. That's the west side of the property. This area stays pretty shady, so I think that's why this kind of stayed pretty under control, minus some of the thorny vines that made it. But this is the other swale over here. Oh man, I wish I could remember all these trees that are over here, but I know there's a lot of apples, pears, obviously a lot of nitrogen fixers. I believe, yeah, I'm gonna have to get that list. But as you can see, these trees had very few issues, even with everything being abandoned. And now we're gonna getting to the crappy part of this tour. We're here at the storage container, which still had a lot of, you know, usable equipment and stuff like that. And every time I'd come out and check, everything was still there. There were no issues or anything like that. And now this place has basically been robbed blind. Like they took gates, they took, pardon the smoke, I have a burn barrel going right now, but they took even family pictures and stuff like that. It was weird. They took a lot of stuff. But yeah, so all that's getting cleaned up in there. That's gonna be just a lot of busy work right there. But yeah, that's the crappy part, is a lot of this stuff that was going to be usable to bring this property back into working condition is gone. The real funny thing about it though is that I had this Ford Taurus that I bought at a Lawler auction down in Shreveport, Louisiana. It didn't work. It couldn't work. It was done. Even the mechanic said like, hey, it's just a junk car now. Well, somebody stole that. So they're stuck with a car that can never be fixed. They're going to have to redo everything. Yeah. So that's some satisfaction in that. But there's a couple barrels on this side, some blue barrels, some blue plastic barrels, some metal barrels over there. They stole the lawnmower that was here too, which also didn't work. So joke's on them again. But this is really cool. Here's the bright side of things. The chicken tractor's still here. Cool. So I can, if everything's in working order on that, I need to clear around it and get it uncovered. In fact, I'm gonna do that right now. Well, y'all, I'd say that's in working condition. There's some hornet's nests and stuff like that, wasp nests or whatever, but yeah, I mean, even the Well, the base seems a little wobbly, but yeah, tires are flat, but that's all to be expected. That's a chicken tractor. That's like, shoot, that's like $600 in just sheet metal right now. So awesome. Glad they didn't steal that. They probably didn't know what it was. They probably saw that. Yeah, they probably didn't know what it was. But let's get back on with the tour. Here is one of the those trailers that we got at auction. They're not in very good shape at all right now. I think they pretty much, whenever they robbed the place, they ransacked these places. They even stole composting toilets. Who steals a composting toilet that somebody else was composting in? But yeah, they stole everything out of that except for a couch. They stole the window unit out of that one. Actually, they stole the window unit out of both of them. It's just that one, they left a giant hole. They did leave the windows down on all of them. I don't know why they opened up the windows, but they did. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out some solutions for these two. There were some 12-foot gates that were in between there. They stole those. Man, they ran off with a lot of stuff, but it's okay because a lot of this permaculture systems are still working. All that stuff can be replaced. Those permaculture systems take time to install and get them running on their own. So I'm not too worried about that. This right here was lumber. It was heat treated, but it all pretty much rotted. It was tarped, and then I think the tarps just ran away. Or, you know, just got destroyed. Over here is the garden section. We had the Shisugiban raised beds here. And then we also had that greenhouse over there. That blew away not too long into moving to North Carolina on Permapassure's farm. There were higher winds than we expected, and that thing blew away more times than we could count until we finally replaced it with that high tunnel that's over there now. Yeah, I brought the scythe with me over here just in case I need to clear something. But this is where that greenhouse was, right here. There's still the rock foundation and stuff like that. There's some trees growing up, all that stuff. That's the neighbors over there. But this is the property line. This is the far east side of the property. There's still a, wow, they left a hose. But these boxes over here, the ones that we did the Shisugiban on, are doing pretty doggone well. I mean, like, they're holding up better than the raised beds that we had over at Permapassure's farm. I mean, it's a little shaky, but they're not rotten, I don't think. There's a lot of trees I'm gonna have to clear out. Thankfully, the fire ants kind of took over. In a good way, they kind of pre-tilled everything, but in a bad way, I'm gonna have to deal with them now or bring in some chickens, get some tough chickens to deal with those fire ants. But yeah, this is the garden area. You can see some of the raised beds. There's another set of these raised beds just going right over there. So yeah, we'll uncover that in the future, and we'll build another greenhouse over here for sure. I mean, we already have 90% of it here. We just need to put up some cattle panel and plastic. That's where we need to go. That's where we just came from. Oh, you can see it smoking now. This road, we're on the driveway right now that was overgrown, and if we continue this way, we should come across a dam and a pond that we dug. Now, I've noticed since coming back out here that the neighbors, whenever they drive by, they all slow down, like, oh wow, somebody's out here again, let's see what happens. But yeah, that's the slowest anybody's gone on this gravel road anytime recently. So we're gonna work our way down. Down here is a pond. And it's to handle the amount of water, it's to handle the amount of water that is coming off this. There's like a 100-some acre, past this green line over here, there's a 100-some acre cattle farm that gets a lot of runoff, and it all funnels over into this property. And I don't know if you can hear that on the camera, but that's running water right there. So with all this rain that we just had, the pond is working. Sorry for this, some of these close-up face shots. It's not intentional. Yeah, I believe this was an actual early video on Permapassure's farm. But yeah, the driveway continued on down there, and there was a future house site that we had planned down there for an earthship. But we dug out this pond right here. And this is a little chinampa, a tree obviously fell in the way, but there are chinampa fingers going out that way towards the south. And then there's the culverts over there. Hold on. I don't know if you can see those culverts, but that's flowing and it's capturing everything. You know what? I'll have to bring the drone out sometime after, or sometime here soon, just so I can show you an overview of everything. But yeah, there's the creek that's coming in from the pasture. Hold on, maybe I can just reach high enough. There's a pasture over there. So it's handling all that. That's quite a bit of water there. It's just overgrown a lot. And it goes on over, this is the bridge right here. Everything real dense green from like here to here is all where there's gravel. So over here you can at least hear it. Hold on, cleared it out a little bit with the scythe. But that is where it's coming out right now, out of these culverts. And there's little critters, there's something living on over here, because there's a big pile of poop right there, and a little path that goes on that way down to that little creek and on over there. So that's something to keep an eye out for. But yeah, the driveway continues on over here, keeps going. There's another culvert right here, part of the driveway. And I think this driveway is a little bit better shape because this was the last part of gravel that we added before we left. But yeah, so there's a little creek right there. Right, and then there's everything back in here. There's that pasture I was telling you about, that cow pasture. All of that drains, not all of it, but about half, this half, the northern pasture, or the southern pasture, sorry, all drains onto our property. It's kind of impressive how clear this kind of stayed back here. It's probably, again, because of the amount of shade that's being provided back here. Up at the front was almost full sun, except for immediately around the older swales. So, yep. And then that's the back. And that's not even the end of the property there. That's just as far as we cleared. I think there's still quite a bit as I go back. I'll have to look at the survey or the map or something. So yeah, that's a tour of the majority of the permaculture demonstration site. Now there's quite a bit more whenever the animal systems are in place here. So as I walk back, I'll kind of explain or give the full idea of the vision for this property. I want to bring it back into full production. Obviously, I want to get a house site out here. Probably use animals to do a lot of the clearing, honestly, because that's just way more easier, and you're creating food at the same time. You're growing food at the same time. Pigs would absolutely love it out here. They do. Feral pigs do very well out here. I'm just gonna not let them go feral. I'm gonna keep them controlled, contained, and direct their energy. I want to bring rabbits and chickens out here. Rabbits probably later down the line, probably chickens first. I want to get this garden squared away, all that stuff. I can't remember if I said get a house site on here or not, but yeah, that too. But the ultimate goal for this place, I think, is to turn this into a training area, like a training demonstration site where, I do consultations, I do permaculture consultations, and the vast majority of those consultations are for people who have never done anything like this before in their life. A lot of them come from the IT background, a lot of them come from just, all sorts of backgrounds, but farming was never something that they envisioned themselves doing, or even like homesteading was never something that they envisioned themselves doing until recently due to current events, which, makes sense. But another common trend is that a lot of people jump in this too quickly. They don't acquire the training. They don't take into account the hands-on experience that you need to do some of these things. And that's what I want to turn this place into. Before you jump headfirst into buying land and putting up a house and doing all this and that, everything without actually knowing what you're doing, I want you to come out here and practice for maybe a week or two, something like that. I don't know. I still got to iron out all those details. That's obviously in the future because there's a lot of work to be done here. But yeah, that's what I want to turn this place into. Like, if you're brand new to all of this and you think it's a good idea and you're just wanting to be a part of a parallel economy or something like that, if you have those types of thoughts and you're thinking like homesteading is the only way for you to get into that, then I want you to check this place out first. I want you to practice here, train here, make mistakes here, and then find out if this is actually something you want to do before you go make the financial investment, sell off your property that you already have, sell where you're already living, and buying a new place out in the country. You might also realize that you don't need as much land as you think you do. This is only 5 acres here. And we're going to produce way more food here than you probably ever thought was possible on 5 acres. Well, thanks so much, guys, for checking this video out. Can't wait to upload more and get some more content to you guys here soon. This is going to be a fun project, and I want you guys to stick around for it. And it's really cool that you guys are able to see the very beginning of this, because a lot of people don't start a new homesteading project or something like that with the intent of documenting it and showing everybody. But I intend on documenting all the good, bad, and ugly that goes on this property. And I'm going to show you exactly what it's like to reclaim an abandoned homestead / permaculture design site. So if you need anything, if you need any questions answered, consultations, phone or in person, see the links down below, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, y'all.